What do you say about Artie?
Not great things. He goes into...
Who did he blame? No. Who? Let me ask. Let me change the question. Who did he blame the hiring of Artie on? What, did he take the blame? Did he share with Keith, or did he throw Keith under the bus? Because they were both playing. When I was there, they're both playing hot potato with whose idea to bring Artie on board.
There is a separate Keith the Cop chapter, and he goes into their relationship as well. But it was a kind of dual decision to bring Artie, because Anthony went to Artie's Hoboken place to do his podcast, and they had just such a great time. And I think it was Artie that said, he'd be a great, to do a show with. And I think Keith agreed, and they kind of just worked backwards from there to try to get, figure how a relationship. But
I think when they went to Artie's house in Hoboken, he did the same thing he did with everybody. He made you wait 2 hours while he did his drugs in the bathroom. Because when I went, he was in the bathroom for 2 hours. Dan Filato said he's on a call. I'm like, who's he fucking talking to? The Queen of England? Like, who does 2 hour call? Nobody talks to anyone for 2 hours anymore. Yeah. So but Cumia or Keith told me he did the same thing to them when they went to Hoboken. So they knew they were dealing with a troubled fucking loser.
Well, at the same time, he got hired by Judd Apatow to be on an HBO show.
So but partly because Cumia, he was working at Cumia, so they probably would
anything that would be Judd Apatow would fucking hate Cumia.
But I'm saying he was still like out there. The fact that he was on Cumia definitely made it seem like he was still out there. People are still hiring him. So I think he wanted to hide that he was working with Cumia. Apatow's a huge left-wing liberal. No, I know all along. But then you'd have to ask them why they hired, because it was a bad hire for them too.
Well, he did great on that show, the HBO show. He was fantastic.
I mean, he played himself. He was a loser junkie.
Now, Pete, have you lost your virginity yet?
I have had sex with a woman, my wife.
Oh, your wife?
On our wedding night. That's when I lost my virginity.
Your wedding night? You waited.
Yeah, well, yes, it's in the Bible not to have sex before marriage.
It is?
So we would dry hump and...
Oh my God, I miss dry humping.
But he did great. He was critically acclaimed. He was great on that show.
Who gives a fuck? Yeah, I mean,
you saw what happened was on Anthony's show, the Artie and Anthony show, when he would go to the bathroom or he wouldn't show up, or I was around for all of that. I started in the summer of 2017, and I was there for all of those months, all of them. And I saw from start to end, and it was a drastic downfall from him. It really was. I mean, you were there too, and you saw it.
Yeah, but I saw it before that. I saw before they hired him. I knew he was bad news before they hired him. So again, I think in both cases, Crashing, they were like, well, Pete Holmes is so dull and really has no backstory, no anything. So they needed somebody, to be a complete contrast to him. So they went too far with Artie, in my opinion, because I think Dan Filato had to hold Artie's hand the whole time. Plus, once you give Artie money, you might as well just pay him in drugs. I mean, as soon as he gets money, he's thinking like, now I can buy more drugs. So the fact that Judd Apatow was so desperate, they had to hire Artie Lange because Pete Holmes is so fucking dull. And please clip this. Pete Holmes is the dullest motherfucker. And also one time I was brought some woman met me and she was coming to meet me at the Comedy Cellar. I was separated from my wife for a while. It's in my book. I was separated from my wife for a while, and so some woman came to see me, and Pete Holmes was on second to last. I was on last. Pete Holmes did like 25 minutes. He did great because crowds love him because he's an empty vessel. He's just a likable hack. And so I went on, and he went too long, and then I was last, so they cut my time down to like 8 minutes. I didn't do well, and so he cock blocked me. But anyway, he's doing terrible now. I'm doing way better than Pete Holmes now. Pete Holmes is done. Huh?
Well, I do have a funny story with regarding
Pete Holmes is done. Clip that. Pete Holmes is done. Look him up. See what he's doing now. He's doing worse than Gino Bisconte, if that's possible.
So as I mentioned, I'd see you at the compound. Usually it was on Wednesdays, and right after Anthony's show, we'd go to the Friars Club a lot, and right at the Friars Club, and one Wednesday I'm there with Anthony, and he's got his cell phone down at the table, and Artie's calling him. And that is the last name you want to see in your cell phone, calling Artie Lange, because you know there's a problem.
Right.
There's drama on the other end of that call.
Right.
It needs to be dealt with, probably sooner rather than later. So Anthony picks up the phone, and I can't hear what Artie's saying, but Anthony's body language is going, oh, fuck, God. So he hangs up, and he looks at me and goes, can you believe I think I have to bail Artie out of jail? So
I think.
So after I stopped laughing, I said, I have to go with you. I'm going with you. Because if you said to somebody that was a fan of O&A and Stern Show, one day I could go with Anthony Cumia to a police precinct and watch Artie Lange get bailed out of jail. I mean, that's the shit dreams are made of.
Yeah, it's like a ride along with a cop, you know?
Yeah. So like 20 seconds later, he got another call, and it was like, okay, no, you don't have to. It was taken care of. I think Artie's sister maybe bailed him out instead.
Right.
But I think that happened like at least 2 or 3 times during the 6-8 months that we were working on this book, and he was around Artie. Yeah, it was very funny stuff. I'm glad I was there during that time. It was very interesting shit to witness.
Is this true? Chapter 8 is Chrissy's dental bill?
Let me check. No.
I just put that up because Chrissy has gum issues. Allegedly. I don't know. I haven't seen her up close.